Our chat is going. We're gonna scoot this down a bit. Move this over. I'm able. There. All right. Hello and welcome, y'all, to the live stream. That's not gonna get caught. But welcome. Another week. Survived another one. Nothing's really back to normal yet. I think that's kind of next week, personally. But hello, I'm Justin the Zilla. Welcome to the wonderful world of turtles. Of toys, I mean. I said turtles. I got turtles on the brain right now, but welcome everyone. To another live stream unboxing where we open up figures and talk about figures and just yap. Do whatever. It's my show, my channel. Hope y'all enjoy it. Be sure, like this video, comment what you want to see here on the channel, and subscribe. We're nearly at I think 320 subscribers, so that's pretty good. I mean, pretty great. At least when it comes to me and my stuff. So, yeah. Thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for the support. Also, thank you for the support on the the Blood Pennywise short specifically. That one's been a banger, and I only just finally got around to posting it today, or earlier today. So apologies for being late on that, but it's just whenever I got time or whenever I can get motivation, I'll do it. But it takes a bit. Just been doing a lot of personal stuff. Just been kind of just chilling out, living. Work's been kind of on and off. I've been working half the week, half not. So it's been kind of been busy with personal stuff, and then busy with work, and then busy with other personal stuff going on. So just and then also just stress about the world with everything going on, with the world falling apart as usual. So. But yeah, for updates, first thing I guess I'll just mention, yesterday went out with buddies, hanging out at our local mall. Oh, got a little scorpion medallion thing, and that's a real scorpion, I believe. I didn't ask the guy, but they had a lot of bugs. It's one of those kind of import kind of shops, but they're really cool, and so it's cool to see little things like this. And I saw this and I was like, you know what, I vibe with that. I'm gonna grab that, because they had a giant a stick bug and a big like a mantis there as well. So a lot of cool little bug things. So new little amulet thing. I guess that this is the vibe now. This is what I'm going for. And then also at the mall, if y'all know what Spencer's is, went to that and was thinking about getting one of these last time I went, but I got one of these keychains, but where they're, if you can hear, is that? Okay, that's right there. And if you can hear it. I don't know. But just a little clicker thing, and it has the word fuck on it. And of course, it's backwards. But I was just a little fidget thing. I don't mind. I'll click this every time I want to, but it's just a little fidget thing. It's fun. It says fuck on it, so that's funny. I'm kind of panicking. Fuck. They're just crashing out. So yeah, little knickknacks, just fun little things. Literally a fidget toy. So literally a toy, just for me to. I'm gonna break this thing. Sorry, I'm stimming too much. But in any case, cool little thing, a lot of fun. Also, huge thing. Saw TMNT 2 in theaters, The Secret of the Ooze, because, um, uh, yeah, because this week was the 35th anniversary of it, and yeah, so there's my ticket. You can see TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze. So really cool movie, a lot of fun. Still kind of like weird to see in theaters, not as much as like kind of like an experience as I felt with the first movie. That first movie was really kind of like, okay, this is like cinema, I guess, in my mind. And I was just kind of like, oh damn, this is insane. This is bananas. This is fucking wild. With how dark, that first movie kind of turned out to be. And then that second movie, watching that, hold on, like it's bothering me. There we go. And then that second one, was kind of like, it wasn't, okay. I knew I wouldn't probably enjoy it as much as the first one. I was looking forward to it, but it kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of like, it kind of took me aback, kind of like knowing just how different like the feeling was with this movie compared to the first one, because, you know, the first movie is very much based on the comic book, a lot darker, a lot grittier, but still has, you know, your classic turtle with the bandanas, with the colored, bandanas and their weapons and everything. And kind of like, they're still like, hey dude, hey bro, radical, awesome. And then doing like little jokes here and there, and like, except for having like Raph being pissed off all the time, so that's fun. And then like compared to the second one, where everything basically just kind of felt like a bit, if that makes sense. Yeah, where it's kind of like every little thing that the turtles would kind of like interact or like do with together, it's like, yeah, they always have to have some kind of quip or joke or some kind of reference of some kind. So it's just kind of like, all right, it's all comedy. It's all for the kids. And they didn't even use, most of their weapons that much. Raph, I think, used his sai like 2 or 3 times. Not very much. Leonardo, he only used his swords once, like at the beginning of the film, and then never since. Yeah, he either doesn't have them in his sheaves, or or they just stay in there. And even when it comes like to Michelangelo, barely uses his nunchucks. He does have them, but he's not really using them. Donnie's really like the only one, but he doesn't really hit that many people. He just uses it like to do other stuff. So it's very weird. So it's just like, okay, I kind of knew that already, having seen these films before, but I'm just like, all right, this is kind of ridiculous. I kind of wish that they kind of would have been like, okay, have them use some of their weapons more often, but I get it. Parents were complaining, being like, this is too violent. It's like, bro, there's still violence. It's just funny now. It's just more comedy shtick. It's less of kind of like that serious, that more serious kind of like darker tone. I will say though, I did really kind of enjoy the actual like the Shredder, especially Batoka and Razor. They really stood out more in this film to me on the big screen. Of course, it makes sense because they're 2 giant monsters, but you know, having them there on the screen, all surround sound, was super nice. And kind of like, especially like majority of the Shredder bits, like it felt like the first movie. It was definitely more kind of like, yes, it was more kind of weird and a little bit more campy, but still a lot of fun and super cool. So yeah, a great time overall. Also, really enjoyed that they had a little like a preview before, where they had Kevin Eastman was talking about, I guess, kind of like Turtles in general and what the future might hold. And it basically like, he's basically like, okay, it's basically up to the fans what goes on, even though it doesn't really, because it's owned by Paramount. So it doesn't really matter what we say most of the time, because corporations are bullshit. As I have all this Disney and Paramount, Nickelodeon shit surrounding me. But you know, I'm a pop culture dude. I love toys. I love figures. I'm a freaking nerd. I grew up on this shit. I'm in this shit. I know this shit. So, you know, what can you do? What else? Yeah, the movie was great. Fun thing. Oh yeah, but that yeah, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, but that little like that preview where they had Kevin Eastman like doing a Last Ronin drawing, and then they like filmed like a newer like a live action kind of turtle fight scene where they basically had Last Ronin, yeah, kind of like ninja looking turtle dude, that was fighting yeah, like all these foot ninjas. Like in an alleyway, so that was kind of fun. It was like kind of like, you know, kind of a little on the cheap side, a little bit. Kind of like, all right, just fill a warehouse, put props, mystify and everything, and make it all kind of decent looking. But it was fun. So it's kind of like, yeah, and I heard people kind of like talking about that bit as kind of like what we might have gotten. Yeah, kind of like, or kind of like a test screening of, yeah, like of them doing Last Ronin, and it looked pretty good. I think it looked promising. So even though, yeah, but even though we might not even get that film, which sucks, I think there's potential for what's to come out more of Turtles. I think I'm especially kind of excited to see whenever they do Turtles 3, if that's going to be coming out. I forget when that third one came out. I assume they're going to wait until like the 35th anniversary for that, but I don't know how much later it came out. I knew, yeah, I know it was like a little later, and it just wasn't as good because it's not the same company or kind of like a distributor or whatever. I forget what it was, but it was some kind of weird thing, and it just wasn't the greatest. But you know, it might be something, and I'll go see it in theaters. I don't care. I don't mind. I'll see all 3 Turtle movies again. I haven't seen them really since the last time I watched them, like years ago. So I was like, perfect time. I'll wait. I'll go see them, and I have. First 2, pretty good. First one, amazing. Second one, just good. Kind of like it's still in that same era. Okay, yeah, and I will still mention Splinter, still a big part. Love Splinter so much in these first 2 films. He's kind of like the true, like the heart of this whole kind of like turtle story. Really kind of brings it all together. So really cool, really awesome. And then the puppetry still top notch. Of course, this film was after Jim Henson died, so they kind of dedicated that. They were like in memory. So shout out to Jim Henson. But yeah, super cool, super fun. And then I do want to say a little extra story I had included with it. I did bring my playmates, Toka and Razor, along with me. But here's a little story specifically about Razor. Well, it does include both of them, and they're both fun toys. But so what happened is I was walking back to my car. I had it in a parking lot, yeah, kind of area next to the theater. Kind of went and walked, and it was snowy around the time. Of course, it's all gone now, but it was snowy and kind of icy at the time. And so I took, yeah, and I also had a full bowl of popcorn as well. And I had these in my hoodie, so they were in a pocket. And so what happened was I took one extra little step to the side, and I could feel, yeah, I could feel, yeah, the ice. I kind of tried to like, I think kind of like move to kind of like move my foot off, and it took me down with it immediately. Thankfully, I'm not hurt. I didn't get hurt. but it just sucked. And so, yeah, so what happened was I was just on the ground, popcorn everywhere. All my popcorn was just gone, except for like one little like tiny like row of it. It was just all on the ground. And these guys were on the ground. Now, I was making sure because I saw that his little weapon here, his little spider thing, had fallen off. And I was like, okay. Yeah, so there that is. Yeah, then Toka was fine. He wasn't really bothered at all this whole thing. He's a chunky boy, so he's fine. But then, yeah, once I got home, I realized he was missing this knee pad here. And so what I did, I literally went out the day after and tracked this down, and it was on the spot where where it fell on the road. But you can see, like, compared to this one definitely got ran over a couple of times. Is all kind of flat and kind of dinged up. Not too bad. Like, maybe I won't replace it. I was thinking about like replacing it, and I was telling this to my buddies, and they were like, no, you gotta keep it. It's for like kind of like, you know, it's a story, it's a thing. And I'm kind of like, but it's not like pristine anymore. It's not like, you know, like fully intact. Like you can see like the side ones are all kind of like fully intact there because they're not kind of like ran over by cars over a night. So yeah. So that was kind of like my whole thing that was going on at that time on that day. Yeah, where I was like, oh, okay, that movie was fun. It was cool. Oh, shit. And then missing that. So my night was like kind of like it was kind of like half good, half bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. So I was just like, all right. I had a very split even day. And then the day after was fine because I just went back downtown, to where that theater is, and then just found that piece, and I was like, thank God. At least I found the piece. So lots of of events going on. And then you got to get into my pickups. We'll first talk about a thing that I opened up kind of off camera, and then I showed off I think last week or so, but I did open the Marvel Legends 22, I think they call them, or MS 22, I think his official name is, from the Skeleton Crew show. I have them all kind of like extended out with the arms and everything, and have the little disc arm pieces and the little eye guy right there. So cool little figure, just another droid for me in my mind to just add to the collection. Not very much too connected to this guy, but here's just a cool looking figure. So yeah, so a cool little Star Wars figure, another one to add to the shelf to kind of get more droids in there, get more Star Wars, more regular kind of weird characters. So that was fun. And then also, I think this was what was this? I think this was literally Saturday I picked these up. Because I went out with one of my friends. Went to one of our local, one of the local, the comic shops. And they had got me this little like this blind bag of these these Godzilla, like these little keychains, and you could get like Godzilla, Manguirus, Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah, King Caesar. I think the one I have though I got was Jet Jaguar. So a fun little keychain there. He probably won't ever be on. On a keychain, but he just looks cool, so he's been just sitting out here. He's kind of like it reminds me of like of these little guys here, like these little little chibi turtle dudes, and I got Donnie, which is my favorite turtle, so I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Then to get Jet with him, even though like he's more exaggerated, but and I might like cut off this whole thing and then like the ring to go with it, because I'm kind of like, I just want him as just a little thing. I don't need no weird freaking keychain things. At least in my mind, I'm gonna like keychain things. I'm like, get it off. Just give me a little figure. That's all I need. I'll be happy. But yeah, so really cool. So shout out to my friend Lou for getting this for me. She's fucking badass and makes great music, and is also a cool ass collector of like Lego shit. So shout out to her. And then the actual thing, kind of figure wise, there's actually a pickup, that we will be opening next week. Spoilers, but kind of on a turtle high right now. But oh yeah, and then also I got this before I saw Turtles 2, but I was like, you know what? The timing on it, the price is good, and I think they gave me like a good deal for it too. I think I only paid like $35 for this, and originally it was like 40, but you got your TMNT 2, The Secret of the Ooze, Kino Foot Training, and Foot Soldier 2-pack. So that that scene was fun to see, and then seeing Kino, the actor that plays him on the big screen again, like that was fun to see. The actor is actually really, really great for the role, that he plays. Even though I wish they did something different with the character, but I'm like, okay, maybe he should have been in 3, because that would have been kind of nice. Have another continuation kind of character, but there's always just little things. But he looks great. He looks fun. And then he has like his whole outfit there. You got the punching bag, and you got the more like the heavier, kind of like the foot soldier there. A little bit taller, bulkier. Or I think I think like the guys who made this set like literally called him just a fat foot soldier, because bro's chonky. Even though it's probably hard to see, he a chonky boy. He chocolate, bro. But cool little set. So definitely going to be opening this up next week for sure. So be cool. Be fun. All right. I think we'll get on about talking about toys. And the fit kind of matches, I will say, though, with what we'll be looking at. A lot of green. Also kind of for St. Patrick's Day as well, which was on Tuesday, I believe. I think that was the day I saw the movie. So I was like, wait, no, I saw it on Monday. Tuesday was the day that Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day. What am I saying? So green, you got the Jurassic Park hat, Isla Nublar, cool ass shit. So we're gonna be getting into more green stuff. Well, not dinosaurs per se, but things that are, I guess, related to dinosaurs. So we're gonna stop a yap and just about whatever. Start talking about toys. So get on over. There we are. There's our dude and our gal. Where we got Croc Master and Fiona. A set that I got at a comic shop in my hometown. So I can't remember their name for the time. I think it was like, it wasn't like Frank. It was like someone's like poppin' collector store. So it was so it's kind of like a smaller, kind of like a nicer kind of store, and had a lot of like collectibles, had like Dragon Ball, figure arts, had a lot of Hasbro, Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, wrestling, all your standards, Masters of the Universe, DC, Marvel, all your things, Star Wars, whatever it is. They had it, including this awesome Croc Master. set. Yeah, that had been on my list for a while. Oh, thank you for the like. Whoever just liked it, I appreciate it. Yeah, so finally was able to pick up this set. I think I got it. How much was it? It was like 35 bucks. So I was kind of like, this is a steal. Yeah, for how this guy is probably going online, this is a massive steal. And this was one of my last purchases of last year. Even though this is probably like a year or two older. Hold on. What is it? What's my copyright? Well, this is 2022. I don't think that's right, but it's not that old, is it? I mean, it does have pins, but, you know, it does feel like a newer figure. But really, really cool. Love this whole vibe and all this packaging that we got here. We're seeing the Croc Master, and we got Fiona, 2 baby Crocs, and then all the accessories there have the cool, awesome kind of like super, kind of like comic booky art, but kind of also, yeah, realistic in some way of Croc Master with Fiona. Your G.I. Joe Classified series logo, Croc Master Fiona, kind of blue tech, and then your Cobra logo there. 38 because he's a Cobra. Cobra logo on the back. On the side, same kind of awesome art, but kind of a close-up. And then you got Fiona kind of continuing through that whole thing. So, just, yeah, so just a full body shot there, and he looks fucking badass, bro. And then on the other side, have your little rundown of Croc Master and Fiona with the little attributes. And I think that you go on to like the Classified or like our Hasbro like G.I. Joe website or something, and then it gives you like stats based on like the symbols. It's like their level of kind of like, you know, handling. Like I assume, yeah, this is kind of like an animal handler, so kind of top tier, kind of second tier, kind of like strength, first tier kind of weapons, and second tier kind of like authority or whatever. Then 38 on there, your Joe, kind of a little glitchy kind of thing going on there, which is cool. And then at the back have your giant mural of G.I. Joe Classified. With all your things going on there, all your weapons and ships and things going on there. Even have your Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow there, and then with the with the ninja thing, and then Joe's Cobra, all that jazz at the bottom. Nothing much, just your barcode and all your illegal stuff there, and then the price. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this guy open. Really excited to finally have this guy. Oh, and also I was thinking about this recently because I saw on Instagram. So there's a new kind of like an SCP kind of like customized guy, and he also did just finally started working on his the SCP that's like a crocodile. I forget what they're called, but they have like a melty kind of like thing going on, but looks super cool. And then they used like the Croc Master head like for one of their other customs. So I kind of also felt that this was the right time to finally open it because, you know, SCP is really cool, and then that guy is super kind of like cool to see someone doing some SCP stuff because, well, like as one of my buddies is like super into it. So he was kind of like sharing it with me, and I was like, oh, this is badass. So shout out to that guy. I forget what his thing is, but if you probably look up SCP like the action figures, you'll probably find them. So, but yeah, but we'll finally get this guy open. Well, guy and gal, or and they're multiple children. Well, not their kids, but yeah, Fiona's kids. Guess we'll just go from the bottom, easy enough. Kind of wish I could open from the side, but I get it. It's a big old set, so. Get our trusty, well, before I get our trusty X-Acto blade here. There we go. Oh. Dude, this whole thing comes out there, so there's your empty box. and then kind of like this hole, kind of like a surround thing there. But you get your little background here, your little display. Yeah. This is actually like kind of like nice if you have like a full, like kind of like full shelf, and you could do like your background. We could have like, but some of like your Cobra guys all in the back, and they're kind of like elevated because of this platform, and then you have like the Cobra logo background. So that's pretty cool. Hasbro paper to the ether. This probably to the garbage. I'm probably not going to keep this really just for space. Just my thing. But there is our G.I. Joe Classified Croc Master and Fiona. Looking pretty sick. Looking pretty cool. We'll just go for the obvious stuff. We'll just kind of take everything out and go over everything. We'll do our accessories first. Kind of go from there. Try to quickly unbox these all on camera. Bruh. Of course, they got like tape covering this entire thing. Thankfully, not with the gun or the hook. They're probably a little bit more trickier though. Oh, not too bad. And then we'll get Fiona's children, the baby Crocs. And we'll get Croc Master. There, and then Fiona actually does have a couple of, or actually like a few, like at least 4 snip points to go from. I'll kind of move everything to the side over here. Where's our... Take the kid with them. All right. We'll get Fiona free. Here, we're just gonna grab our snips. Alrighty. Where's my cover? Alright, that's just not there. Okay. I'll look for another time. Alright. I don't want to delay too much. There's our snips. We'll get her tail free. Probably going to be my easiest one. I mean, I could literally go middle of the road here. Easy enough. And then we do have ones on either front arms there. I don't know how. There we go. Not too shabby. Bruh. wish I was getting this fully, but it's kind of a little difficult. Hold on. And you said, take her away. There we go. Okay. There's our plastic. Away to the ether. Our snips back to there, you back to here. And then all this trash away. Where they belong. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh. Oh, and this is also, I thought it'd be okay. Okay. Hold on. I'm messing with this. With our croc. For a moment. Okay. Here's our Fiona and our Croc Master. Alright, so I'll definitely have to be a little more careful with this guy, I think. Because if he is from 2022, which I don't think it is, I don't think this figure was released during that time. But as you can see, it does look pretty cool even with Fiona, but what a pair. What a pair there. Okay. Also, he is definitely more, like, a little more, I feel more kind of top heavy, and the hips are kind of a little, feel like a bit of a mess right now, but if I can get them to work, I think a little better. I think I can get this whole thing going. I just feel like these hips just want to take out these guys. This is weird. It feels like whenever I try to push the either one up, the other one wants to go up with it instead of actually staying together. Hold on, I'm just trying to get him stand normally. Does he not have boot swivel? I refuse to believe this man. Okay, he does. It's just that this one's like really stuck. I'm gonna have to like heat. Okay, there we go. Had to break it in. What the hell? Well, this guy definitely feels older. I mean, what year is this? It is 2022. It's been 4 years since this figure. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's been like a year or two. It feels like it's been 2 at the most. But 4 years since they started this line. Because this is number 38, so this is early on. What the hell? And this figure is awesome. I love the whole kind of like the Croc, kind of like, I guess, kind of like Dungeon Master, it feels like, kind of thing going on. Has the all black. Okay, can this thing freaking, can you choose to believe in this? Can you like try? But you have the all black mask there with the kind of like the, I guess, kind of like canister, kind of like breathing apparatus, I guess. Has the wire that goes around to the little tube there. I guess that's like oxygen, so whenever like he's underwater, he can just like turn it on and then he can do it, but he just prefers to wear it, I guess. And then has your Cobra logo, yeah, little patch there on the body, and then has your kind of like your Croc skin kind of top there. Has like the same kind of like coloration as Fiona, and then has like the lighter kind of belly to match with that, and then with the darker kind of back hide with the bumps. So that's pretty cool, and that's all actually sculpted in there, so that's very, very cool, especially on the back. It is kind of like all the way up there onto the actual hinge there, so that's pretty cool. And then your bear, yeah, kind of arms there, kind of basic but bigger arms there. Have your left hand just has like your regular kind of metal gauntlet with your black glove, but then your other hand here has that same kind of bumpy kind of skin texture on the back. Yeah, for that gauntlet, and has the same glove there. And then at the belt has the giant, like the eye there that kind of matches with the crocodile kind of eye thing going on there. So you can, if you can see pretty well, I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty weird kind of like place, I guess, to have it, but it's really cool. And then it's all kind of like super kind of like silver kind of metal painting. So yeah, so it's kind of like techie, and then has some yellow stripes, some orange little buttons in there. Also has a little sculpted detail of it actually being kind of like banded and kind of like buckled in. So that's kind of cool. And then same kind of detailing on that side. And then at the legs, kind of just all black there with some tubing that goes kind of like around the thigh there, a little bit more apparent on that side, but then have some wrinkle work, and then have your kind of basic knee pads there. And then of course this one has the holster there, all brown, but little details here and there. So pretty good. And then with the boots, kind of like another kind of like an alley, like a crocodile kind of hide kind of textured boot with a cross, with the cross hatches there, kind of matches with the torso, and then have a knife sheath on this foot of the same color as the gun holster. And then that same kind of pattern kind of goes down to the shoes as well from the boot. There is a thing there. And then holes at the feet, 2022. You can see it. What the heck? What the hey? My lighting. It says 2022. It's probably hard to see, but I can see it. But still, like a pretty cool design for a weird character like this. But it kind of works. Kind of works for this kind of dude. And of course, you can't have the Croc Master without its Croc. So we'll bring Fiona up here. And we'll do accessories last, actually. So sorry, but not sorry. But there she is. The beauty. Kind of the star of this, I think, kind of like of this specific kind of, kind of get together for people, when it comes to this set. Actually getting a crocodile with our Croc Master, who's like, a bit taller, but it's still like a full-size figure. You have super kind of like the kind of like rounded kind of like snout of there, and then it's kind of like it goes kind of like wider and flat around here, and then the bigger body, and then has all this nice texture with all the bumpy skin and detailing. Have the teeth there. They're all kind of jagged on there with some up and some down. And then, of course, can open it and you see these kind of tissue kind of design work on there. I know my camera is kind of blowing it out of sight, but you can see all that detail work in there. And then even on the inside of the mouth, just super clean. Just super cool to see. Even at the top there as well, like super well done. It's crazy how much detail that they can actually do with this. And of course, like the paint work is very basic. There's not really much of a wash on here. It's just your kind of like your straight dark, yeah, kind of green base. Yeah, with your lighter kind of like, it's not even like a tan, I would even call it. It's just a more, I guess, yeah, just like, yeah, just a very pale kind of, yeah, maybe even kind of like yellowish kind of green to it. But as your underside there, that goes across the whole body with the legs and everything there and all throughout the tail. But then have this little kind of like darker kind of patches thrown on here, all down the top of the body, kind of like up until like here, and then it just kind of, and then it's just kind of basic. But there, yeah, but there is like a darker kind of like, I think kind of like spray of another darker kind of like more bluer hue green on there. So very nice. And uh, uh, yeah, but then of course we also mentioned the eyes earlier. Super actually clean on this one. They didn't mess this one up at all, really. So very nice. And then again with the teeth all painted white, and then have like your kind of like your darker kind of black kind of like in between as much as they can. Sorry, that's not in camera very well, but there it is. Pretty cool. And then have all your same kind of like skin work and detailing down on the legs, and then have down to your feet here where you got your 4 toes and you got your 5 kind of with the actual hand there. And then on the tail have like that tapering kind of shape going on there, so where it's all super, yeah, so it kind of tapers, kind of winds out. You get that bumpy texture, kind of starts here at the neck and then kind of goes and then tapers again with the tail, and then that's like split into 2 parts and then connected to one at the end. So where it all just tapers down as well too. So super nice. Very cool. It's just awesome how animals are like you know, like this is real. This is a thing that you could go outside and see. And it's just like, what? It's just awesome. It's just awesome to get like just the animal companions with some of these Joes, because you don't really think about like, oh, there's not really anyone out there who's making really kind of like crocodiles or like any kind of like other things like that. I'm trying to think of, oh yeah, yeah, and also, yeah, I do want to say also for dinosaurs, there's not like a market right now when it comes to, I feel like, you know, when it comes to like just dinosaur figures that are kind of like 6-inch scale, but they're more affordable and just kind of have good articulation. I guess really like the closest we really got to that was kind of like the Hammond collection. Well, here, I gotta correct myself. So it was actually originally, you know, the Amber collection, and that was like their 6-inch line, but they kind of stopped doing that, and then yeah, then went towards yeah, the Amber collection, which was more kind of like 3-inch, 3 3/4 scale, or even like 4-inch scale in some cases. And so I kind of like, I get that, but like, you could have like had a gold mine there. I mean, they made the T-Rex. I think they did the Spinosaurus at some point. I know they did a few like Velociraptors, maybe a Triceratops. Maybe, I can't remember. But I know that they did a fair amount of the humans because they made like, I think everyone like from the first movie, and that was kind of like it. They didn't really make anyone else old after that, so it's kind of like, all right, it kind of like it yeah, it made its way through, and then they were just like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. And I'm just like, why? Keep making them, I'll buy them. But they didn't make them. I didn't buy the T-Rex because I couldn't do it at the time. Because I couldn't afford it. And it's probably even more expensive now, for sure. But in any case, it's just cool having a crocodile as a figure in the collection now. Super cool. We'll go over our articulation. So first we'll do Fiona, just because, yeah, she has less, as we saw, does have a hinge at the top of the jaw there to give your look there. Have a ball joint that goes side to side, up, down. Does have rotation there at the kind of like at the start of the actual torso, though. We have kind of like the chest area. Have a 360 there. Have another ball. So that also goes side to side. So all that, all the way, gets her looking mainly all the way. And then kind of up about that far, pretty good. About down. Very nice. And then at the arms, do have a shoulder hinge there, so comes inward. Not that far, comes out. Not that far, not too bad. Does not have a elbow. It is always perpetually, has its elbow bent on there. But then at the hands, you do have a up and down joint, so your hands, they are probably a bit tight out of packaging. Hold up. Let's see if my other one. All right, so here's our one hand that works. So the hand goes up about that far, and then goes down about that far. Not too bad, and then also rotates all the way around there too, so pretty good. Nothing here at the actual torso. This is actually like, I think, all hollow through here because you can feel it and you can actually see the little hole, kind of like the whole cutout piece that they have for this. But I'm not really too concerned about that. You don't even like see that on the outside. It just looks fine there. But then with the legs, with the bat legs, with the back legs, bat legs, you do have a kind of like a same kind of like, oh, okay, well, you actually do have a ball, that had like a rod in there, so it's more like a leg. So it goes out about that far, comes in, kind of like rotates back, but if you rotate it forward, it kind of sits up, so you can do kind of like a full 360. There, you do have a bit of swivel forward and back there. And then at the feet, you have hinges back, hinges forward, forward-facing pin for a rocker, which is very nice. And then no like rotation though, but you have that there, so you don't really need it. But little pin for rockers, so like your hands and your feet. So kind of works out with how they do their articulation. And then you do have a ball with a rod at the bottom. At the top of the tail there at the base. So it comes down about that far, comes up really far up. That's crazy. Kind of come side to side there. You will kind of gap it up if you go too far, but you go like that. It's like, that's still a decent amount. And then with this, especially with the tail, you do have a bendy wire, so you can get it kind of going there. I think it's a more sort of. I want to actually kind of be careful maybe, but I think yeah, I don't know if it goes like all the way up to here. Maybe it does. I think it actually does go like up to here because you do have 2 holes. Well, 3 holes. So you have 3 there, and 3 there. So yes, he must have something. I think it's like right here at the tip. You probably don't have anything, but like right here, like right above these holes, like where my finger is, like right at that line is where your rod goes. So you can get that much. You can get all the way up. You can do kind of side, even if you want to kind of go at the base more, if I'm able. Getting more full on kind of S curve to the tail. I can get her kind of like all action, all woman, all crocodile. So Fiona looking great, articulates great. It's just so much fun. It's just so nice to have a croc. And then for Croc Master himself has your more typical kind of full human action figure, articulation. Do have a ball at the top of the head so we can look up about that far, but then you also do have a ball at the bottom of the neck so we can look up totally about that far, which isn't too bad. Look down with both at that far. Get your rotation side to side. Does kind of hinder a bit, but you can actually take out the canister because that is a hole, so you can get full on 360 if you wanted to. You can have a little more action there. It's very nice, but we'll probably keep that canister, so he won't be really looking too much. He'll be looking more sort of down at Fiona or just towards someone. So still great articulation. And then at the shoulders, at the arms, you do have a butterfly joint. So, and he does actually have a stiff kind of shoulder joint there. We're going to try to get him. Okay, so we'll do the other arm. So we'll do, so he does have the butterfly joints. Goes back about that far, goes forward not that far, not too bad. Of course, can rotate all around with the shoulder, and then the shoulder is, of course, up that far. Ooh, comes back down as a little stiff there. And his biceps, I will say, are kind of massive. So it's kind of hard to articulate them without kind of like marring the plastic on the side. But you do have there, but the inside, as you can see, is a little bit marred up because of trying to move it on the inside there. Because this guy is so freaking bulky. There we go. But then at the actual elbows, they are pinned. Kind of outdates this figure a little bit, but not too bad. On them, you kind of get all that way there. Kind of would see if they can do like a reissue of this or something. I wouldn't be surprised if they could. And then have your rotation and then hinge in and out on the left hand, and then on the right hand is a trigger finger, but also in and out. Kind of wish there was an up and down, but oh well. That's kind of what they want to do at the time. And then at the torso have your ab crunch there. So that goes about that far. Goes back About this far, not too bad. And then at the waist, you do have a full 360 with your ball there, have a little bit of hula hoop action, kind of come back all the way, that far, all the way forward, and then side to side. So pretty good. I'm going to get more comfortable. Hold up. Ugh. Okay. And then at the hips, yeah, but as we've been seeing, he does have drop down hips, kind of a bit too good, because whenever you go to push one up back into the regular position, the other one kind of wants to take the other one down. So I'm kind of trying to balance it out with how I can get these guys. So a little awkward, but not too bad. I mean, it's definitely needed to get more of this kind of like full-on kick forward action, and then even kind of like coming back out. Not too bad, even if it's more kind of like a side thing, but it's something. And then have your thigh cut here, your double jointed pinned knees there. Basically kick his own ass, so not too bad at all. Have your boot swivel there at the top of the boot. And then, is that actually... Hold on. Okay, yes, that's correct. And then have your shoe hinge forward and back, back and forward, forward, back, back, forward, bruh. And then your ankle rocker pivot. Very cool. Very nice, bruh. There's our Croc Master. I can't really tell, like, kind of... I guess he is kind of like more of a heavier set dude, maybe. I mean, just look at that. He's kind of like, all right, well, where's my crocodile? I'm not waiting no more, brother. And we won't have to wait long to get these two displayed together. Well, one, they're already beside, but then also our accessories. So where we have... First, we'll show off kind of like the specialty. So we have Fiona's children. So you have one little crocodile that's like all green. Has the same kind of white teeth and then the yellow eyes of what's going on there. And then also same kind of basic texture. So kind of like just that, but just, you know, smaller. Like entirely. And then you basically, I think it also... Is it the same sculpt? It might be like, okay, it is a different sculpt. Kind of like a different angle, but you have your albino crocodile. So with the red eyes, well, with the orange eyes, and then the teeth as well, but you have like a little bit of a pink on there too. Oh yeah, and then with this croc, he has the little, kind of like the belly there, that's a little brighter, so. Yeah, they got Fiona's two baby crocs there. Very nice. Very cool to see her with them. Would be actually cool to get an albino kind of Fiona or something like that. Or it's like a different one. Because that'll be like, I guess, like her mate in my mind. So he has like his two crocodiles. He's got one that's albino and then one that's like the regular. Unless people, I think, prefer to have them like with like two crocs. Because isn't he like displayed on the box with two crocs? He is. I just don't know if the other one... Is the other one brown or is it's just regular? I think it's just a regular croc. Just a different color. Because they have them displayed like that. So he has two regular crocs in canon. But it'd be cool, I guess, to do like a color variant that has like all white or something. Has like the albino version. Like, why not do that? Go for that. Just make them pinless arms. It'll be badass. It'll be awesome. You can do like the opposite. So where you have this one in the green and then this one in the white. I mean, I'm just making money for y'all. And then have all your black parts silver, and maybe even like this be like a white or something. I don't know, or like a pink, or have this be a pink, bro. Okay, this little chain collar thing with the spikes, very cool. Has some nice, yeah, little wrap work or leather work. It has your chain, and then with the little thing, have your whip. Has the green kind of crocodile, kind of like skin texture on that kind of like hilt, and then have your whip piece in all black. It's just like that mainly, but you know, you can get it because it's plastic, but it'll just go back to the regular shape anyways. But very cool. And then you have your hook here with your grip there, and then two little studs on the sides are very nice. And then of course your knife, and then your kind of like your revolver, actually kind of pistol there for him. So that's pretty cool. So we'll get all his weapons all set up. And I'll actually put it in correctly. Maybe. There we go. I guess I'll do him, I don't know. Okay, because I'll definitely do him with Fiona. So how should... let me consult my box. How the heck do these go on specifically? Of course, the actual box doesn't really help too much. There's the spikes on the top, and I'm like, okay, I see that. So then, and then it's connected at the top there. So is it supposed to be? There we go. So I'll probably have him holding it. Well, let me first put this in his hand. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get this guy to hold this the way I want him to. Maybe he'll be like this. It's a little weird, but you know. Rose got his croc. She does kind of like sit forward kind of heavily. Kind of gets lost in the back of it. That's kind of why I want him a little bit more on top so he can stand out a bit more, I guess. It's just kind of like an awkward kind of angle, I guess, for me. I'm just kind of like, I prefer it maybe without it. Because it's just kind of like, it just sticks out so far. I kind of wish it had like a bend or something to it, or was like more actually like wired or pliable. Because I don't feel very, very kind of like reliable with it as of right now. I'm trying to see if I put it in the hand differently, maybe it'll be a little bit better. Okay, let me get my other accessories. I'll just use the whip for now. All right, so I'll try this out. Because he looks pretty cool. I just can't get Fiona into the freaking thing right. Because this thing isn't, like, reliable enough to use, really. Because it just can't do it. It's just kind of annoying that you can't have them do the full-on thing. You can get them like that, I guess. It's still not like on her, and also it's getting stuck on his foot. So it's just like, you need to like figure out a way to make this work without being displayed weird. I guess that's like my best I can probably do with Fiona, with her chained up. Trying to get them both a little more even on the screen. I think they look pretty cool though. Yeah, I think that's my shot right there. That's the crew. That looks so good. Kind of wish there was like a more of like, I guess like a place for this then, or like to like store. If you didn't want to have like the whip or the little hook thing, that you could like put it somewhere, like maybe like my thing is like behind the canister just for now, but I know that's probably gonna fall off. Yeah, but having Fiona with the babies too is just really cool. Maybe we'll put them actually more so. But yeah, still pretty cool. Still pretty awesome. Really cool looking. Just a weird ass character, but he comes with a giant crocodile wearing crocodile skin and with a crazy mask, and has 2 other baby ones and has a giant chain with it. I mean, it's so cool. And it's G.I. Joe. This is an average G.I. Joe bad guy. Weird shit. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our comparisons. Kind of see how this goes. What time is it even? It is 8:50. Doing decent time. Kind of about what I expected. In my battery. 76, not bad at all. Okay. So first we're going to do with our kind of like our main line, kind of G.I. Joes. All of our actual Joes. So where we got Duke. Then we got Scarlet, who also doesn't still want to stand. I forget about this. There they are. Of course, got Snake Eyes. Well, we'll do Snake Eyes over here. So we got our Snake Eyes. And then we got Roadblock. Just looking badass. Just looking cool. Looking sweet. And then starting with one of our other kind of like Joes with an animal companion, we got Spirit with his eagle. Can't remember if the eagle has a name or not, or if it's just eagle, but just looks really cool. Great having these animal comparisons or companions to go along with them. And then just for a more basic kind of retro, got Duke. No, that's not Duke. That's freaking, what's his name? I can't remember. I know Roadblock did Spirit. He's there. What's a Gung Ho? That's him. So Gung Ho, Spirit there, looking pretty good. Spirit has to be all the way back there just for the eagle to fit, unless I can get him better fit there. Maybe that's the holdup. Just to fill it. Yeah, but these actually like contrast pretty well. I gotta say to each other. Works very well to keep the animals very unique, but very cool. So cool having an eagle and then having, you know, crocodile. Croc Master. His name is Croc Master. He's got a crocodile. Like, I gotta get in him, bro. And then for just a couple classic Joes, just to go along, got Barbecue. Big Boy. And then Lady J. The classified version. I think I do need to kind of maybe pick up that Retro Carter one at some point, because this one is kind of aging a bit. And like, especially with this hair sculpt thing going on here, I'm kind of like, ugh. Like, she's not my favorite, but she's alright. Kind of basic. Then we have our Legacy Firefighter with the life thing. What's it called? Like, it's not Lifesaver. It's I forget what it's called. Yeah, the life claws or something like that, whatever it is. Just a very specific name, and a tool I did not know that actually existed until getting this figure. I'm 25 years old and didn't even know that this was an actual thing. But then doing more Joes with their animal companions. I think this is like my one and only other one. Oh, besides freaking, what am I doing? Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay. So we got, we have like the riot dog kind of dude there with this. I forget who else. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at something. I just realized that I'm dumb, but hold on. We got, I forget what their names are, but he's like the riot dude with the dog. He's got the dog and he's got it on the vest. It's got the collar. It's really cool. It's a fun little figure. So pretty cool. All very unique. Your variety. Just look awesome. Cool figures. Oh, your helmet. Get over here, get Dirt Hound or whatever. I don't know. Also, I did forget about this earlier, because this is an actual thing that goes with Snake Eyes. Do I want to do this other one? Well, the other one's there. Okay, well, hold on. I want to bring out Timber with Snake Eyes again. Because I kind of forgot about that, because I'm an idiot, but there you got Timber. The wolf. Is it Timber or is it like Winter? I think it's Timber. I forget what the wolf's name is. I'm very bad at these names, y'all. Don't give me a list of names if I haven't done my basic research in a while. I forget what the wolf is. I think it's Timber. I can't remember. But it's a cool ass wolf anyways. And then goes with Snake Eyes very well, of course. Even though this came with the Commandos one, but that one is in another spot that's not grabbable right now. All right. And then who go on with our Cobra comparisons. Of course, got the Commander. Oh, looking great. Actually, kind of, I feel he's kind of as tall. He's probably even taller. Well, probably not. I don't know. They're probably about the same height, but his legs are all weird. And then have our Deathstroke. It's G.I.Joe against Cobra and Deathstroke. Fighting to save the day. But they look really cool together. Very 90s, very ridiculous, over weird costumes, but still a lot of fun. And then continuing on with our kind of retro card villains, have your Baroness with the all black. This is the single jointed armed one compared to their newer one. And then you have your Cobra Viper. Just one of my favorite Cobra kind of soldier looks. I think it's just really cool. Definitely want to get another one at some point. But we'll see. Then have our Cobra Trooper. Then we got Dr. Mindbender, who was actually made the thumbnail, because I'm just like, this dude's so weird, I have to include him with Croc Master. I mean, it's another shirtless guy, essentially. It's just another buff guy with weird clothing. He's blowing out my camera because he's so white. He's so pale. He's the whitest man alive. And that gets me to more of like my more basic kind of level kind of Joe villains, specifically with the dreadnoughts. I went with those ones more specifically because they're just all have weird gimmicks and everything. So here's the female. I forget what her name is. I feel bad, but she's a badass freaking figure. Definitely recommend. Can't remember what her name was, but I am an idiot and forget to do my research. And I'm like, oh, okay, I have the figure. Yeah, so I'll remember it. And I'll be like, I don't know G.I. Joe that well. I'm not the biggest Joe guy, but I got a good amount because G.I. Joe is still cool. I still have a nostalgia for it. I still understand it. And then you have Major Blood. I think this is less of his classic version. I think they do have a newer one, but I'm kind of like okay with this one, though. It just kind of works for what I think just works for the line. Maybe have like the outside costume, maybe be a bit brighter. But overall, this is fine. But they're cool. And then our last two regular human kind of like comparisons, well, human-esque. And then one of the last dreadnoughts, that guy with the faces, can't remember his name now. I had it. I've been looking at him. I literally gave him a brand new weird face mask thing because it's more realistic and it looks weird. And then you have the bat. I forget what this guy's all about. I forget what his name is, but he like does the face change thing. He's disguising, so I have it like more realistic and it's very weird looking. And then you have the bat because it's just, it's a cool robot in all black. It's just awesome. And then we'll do a few. Okay. And then our last round of comparisons, we're just doing it all at once because they're smaller things. We're doing a little animal round. And do we want to bring back Okay, maybe we'll bring back Timber just for it. Start it off again. We got Timber. And then we got Crypto from the Superman 2025 Fonjoy figure. Then we have this dog from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack. Yeah, that's the dog that came with them. And then have your giant ant that came with one of your movie Ant-Man figures. I forget if that's like, if that's like, oh, I think that was like in like a pack. It came with the with the ghost and the one guy, kind of 2-pack. I think it was, because he also comes with the like the enlarged like the building suitcase thing from from Ant-Man 2. So, and then also, I think a raven, or unless it's a crow, because this is from Thor. The Herald of Galactus version, where he has, I think they're crows. Are they crows? I forget if they're crows or not. I think they're crows, because that's like an Odin thing, right? That's like his whole shtick. But I can't freaking remember. But in any case, he's just really cool. It's just cool little animals. Do I want to get out? I'll get the Rottweiler, just to do one more animal. Easy enough. Kind of want to see if I can get him without the armor on. Maybe if I take the head off, it might be a little easier. See if I can get this vest off. I think I can get it. It's just gonna take a bit. Sorry, I'm trying to still get this vest off. I'm almost there. Okay, I think I'm almost there getting this. Sorry, I'm really committed to the bit right now. There we go. Okay, I almost got this off. I'm like, sorry, I'm like halfway there. I'm doing it. I'm committed to just have another basic dog on this stream without any like special armor or anything. I guess that just makes them more unique, but in any case, I'm committed. I've done it before. It's just doing it. But I just want to fill time because I kind of want to get to 2 hours, honestly, tonight. I just want to kind of chill. Hold on. Alright, we're back. Look at that. I kind of probably maybe prefer having that and that, and then have you in the middle, actually. Than having. There they are. But animals. They'll probably actually be more likely to stay. So I'll have them like that, I guess. Maybe do I do? Maybe I do them. The lineup, I guess? I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird setup right now, but we'll do. I guess we'll just do our Joes. Get Duke over here. This side. Scarlet here. Snake Eyes here, of course, because of his Doge. I'll get Roadblock. Yeah, because he's the heavy. Then we'll get I guess he has like a canine unit. I don't know if he's like he's some kind of police of some kind. Kind of like, it's not like a canine because it's not like a husky, but I guess it could be a canine. Do kind of a riot dude or whatever. I don't know. Kind of don't dig with the vibes right now. But cool dog. I like the Rottweiler. And then we'll start doing our, how do we want to do our, okay, we'll just go for it when it comes to the Cobras. Guess I'll just do that, I guess, again. I don't know. It's just because I can be like so much closer compared to this row. So I'm just like, what do I do? I'll do this. I'll just do a literal line. Well, they do kind of go like inward, so maybe more like that. Maybe I can do. Look at that. Kind of tapers. Goes all right with what I want to do. I can do it. Profile. So you get more animals there, and then the Baroness. Get some of our wacky weird guys. We definitely got to include Dr. Mindbender. On display there. Then get Major Blood in here. The other lady. Man, bruh. Are you broke? Not yet. Oh, this Baroness is not the greatest. Even this Destro. Kind of aged a bit. Then we got Spirit back here with the eagle. Gung Ho. And who else can I add? At least for the villains, I can just do. I always vibe with the Cobra Viper. It's always one of my favorite designs. Even if they're like just the grunts. I'm like, you're still badass, bro. And then do the bat. Then throw in there, and then all the rest is good. I don't think I'll be adding anything else. Oh, you have to come back into frame. Dog down, which is never good. All right. I think that will be it for our live stream. So thank y'all for joining me. This is actually a really unique display, but thank you to the 3 people who liked the stream. At this point, no one in the live chat tonight, but that's fine. It's a weird time. Things are happening in the world, but you know, we always make time. Have our little fun. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the words. I'm just like so enamored by this size of this thing. And this display is kind of like, it's so like weird seeing it on the camera. It looks very weird, but this has been a fun time. I love this Fiona so much. Awesome to see another animal, just a full-on crocodile in here. So cool. So yeah. Oh wait, Spirit's not really showing up. Maybe I should do Spirit because he's got the well, it's his dog, so that's fine. And Spirit's all the way back there, being seen. So yeah. All right. Well, hope y'all have enjoyed the stream. Be sure like this video. I'd really appreciate it. Comment what you want to see here on the channel. Appreciate the support. Subscribe. Of course, subscribe. I appreciate it. I hope we'll get to like, I'm hoping by like maybe like 400. Maybe if we'll be able to do that this year. We'll see. That'd just be cool. I don't know. I hated it for the views. I mean, that's for sure now. But it's just fun. It's just cool. These are awesome figures. This G.I. Joe world is so ridiculous. I just can't get over it. It's just so nonsensical, but just so awesome at the same time. Well, hope y'all have enjoyed. See y'all next week. Gonna be doing the Kino 2-pack from TMNT 2. So excited for that. It looks great. I'm just excited for that. Oh, does it have like, what's that? What is that? I'll have to see what that is. Okay, that's the stand. Okay. Bruh. I'm trying to like figure out what's going on in this set before I even open it. But in any case, thank y'all for joining me. Be sure, check out the Instagram. Got a new Bad Guys Inc. collab that went up today. Our theme was clowning around and used a certain Pennywise that we opened on Friday. So be sure to check out the gram for that fresh new pic of that Pennywise with the whole thing. So yeah, hope y'all have enjoyed it. Yeah, so check that out in the description. I don't think there's anything else I want to plug. I don't think. I don't know. Y'all have a good one. Have a good night. Be good. Be cool. Goodbye.